Hi, welcome back. It's me, Candace. This is Love Wins, and I have this topic that I've been really meaning to dive into, and the message is coming in so strongly to deliver this message, and I've been putting it off. The topic is safe spaces. And every time I attempt to record the video, I end up going on these tangents where I'm throwing people under the bus in ways that I know will trigger people, and I can feel the reactions. I can hear what's gonna be said, and I stop myself, and then I get the messages stronger. Tell the story. Just tell your story. It's your truth. Speak your truth. Tell the story. And I think about my wounds as I went forward on my path of ascension, the waking up process, coming into the lights. The attacks throughout the process have been so intense. It's hard to step into that energy of sovereignty as a light worker. And I really want to talk about safe spaces, because safe spaces doesn't physically mean a safe home. A safe space could be a safe emotional space. Energy is truth, okay? We have energetic bodies that house us. We are energy, and we can feel energy. Positive energy, negative energy, these are polarities, and some people are more sensitive than others, and more highly sensitive people pick up on the energy in their environment. And there are these family structures where highly sensitive people are born into these family dynamics, because they specifically have this mission that their soul has chosen to break this family dynamic, this family structure, to break these energies carried within this bloodline that keep karmas incurring, okay? Hold on. We come to the planets. We are born here on Earth to clear our karmas and to ascend. As we do that shadow work, which is accepting your shadow, acknowledging your shadow, understanding your shadow, and your shadow is all dark aspects of yourself. Things that you're ashamed of, things that make you feel guilty, things that make you feel embarrassed, things that have happened to you that you don't talk about. Some people are born into families where we don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. We sweep it under the rug, but then it's carried within our bloodline as diseases and disorders and mental illnesses. These things, diseases, disorders, mental illnesses, stresses, depressions, anxieties, these are not natural to our bodies. So when we carry them, when we carry woundings, when we carry traumas, when we are in unsafe spaces, our bodies will carry that energy and physically materialize as an illness or a disability. So for the past year and a half, I have been struggling with what I call my period pimple, but it was coming on this side in my relationship. And then when I left, my face immediately cleared up. And then I'm doing the inner work. As it's coming up, I'm purging, I'm healing, I'm getting out into nature, salt baths, swimming in spring water, swimming in hot springs, swimming in the ocean, eliminating sugars from my body, alkalining my body, you know. I'm doing all the right things, but the purging is, you know, is needing to happen. The purging is purging. And this is part of the process. So if this video has found you by some chance, I am a firm believer in divine timing, and everything comes to you as it's meant to come to you, when it's meant to come for you. So when you are ready for the message will be received. So for whoever this message is ready for, I want you to take this opportunity, as everything is an opportunity cost. If you're watching me and I am benefiting you, you are taking that opportunity cost and you are benefiting you. If you go outside and you take a walk in nature, that is an opportunity cost. You take your shoes off and put your feet on the earth, you are grounding yourself, and that you are taking that opportunity to ground yourself. So if this message has found you and you are receiving of this message and you are taking that opportunity, then I'm very grateful to be the deliverer of this message. I invite you to take a moment and silently sit with yourself. Put your hand, open your palms, lay them on your legs. Take some slow, deep breaths. Breathe with me. Breathing in. And then breathing out. Again, breathing in. Breathing out. If you need to pause this and do this for 10 or 20 minutes, do these breaths and see what you feel. Have a journal with you. Use your voice recorder on your phone. Jot down what's coming up. Maybe something emotionally is coming up. Maybe something physically is coming up. Are your shoulders tight? Can you not sit up straight? Does this feel really uncomfortable to bring your shoulders back and down? Bring your navel into your spine. Engage your core. And relax. Does that hurt? Is there tension? Is it in your hips? Is it in your knees? Is it in your ankles? Is it in your back? Does your stomach hurt? Feel what you physically feel right now. Write it down. And then think about your patterns. Think about your day. What comes up on the regular? Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Are you find yourself wanting to eat better but sneaking cupcakes in the middle of the night? Or stating that you're quitting a specific habit only to do it again and say you're going to do it tomorrow? What's coming up for you? Do you have gut issues? Do you have things coming out of your body, impurities that are purging their way out of your body? Write that stuff down. Acknowledge it, because that's where the healing starts. It starts in awareness. And the tools are everywhere as to how to heal it. But I'm going to tell you, the first place to start is your environment. How safe is your environment? For me, the one I left recently, because there's been many unsafe environments in my reality. We learn from these relationships. We learn from these experiences. We learn from the lessons. We are students of Earth in Earth School, and I am so grateful for the lessons. In this last lesson, my person I entered the relationship with the awareness of trust issues. And my ego, because I was falling in love, that's okay. I'm an honest person. I stand in integrity. I'm not worried about trust issues. Well, as the relationship got deeper, you have to understand energy is truth. So this person's insecurities is that it just started with basic insecurities. Just could not trust that I was who I said I was and that I lived my truth, how I lived. And I'm not going into details. I'm sticking to basics, I'm sticking to facts, I'm sticking to truth. Energy is truth. So insecurities in one person. If I am thinking something negative about you, that negative thought is an energetic attack. So if I'm constantly thinking something negative about you, I don't trust you. I don't trust what you're doing. 24/7, I'm sending you psychic, negative energy. So, as we're raising our vibrations here on this planet, raising our vibrations, we're doing the work. The higher your vibration goes, the brighter your light gets, and the more you attract. So as you attract more lights and become more lights, you have to beware that the light that you're attracting may not be good for you. It may just be pulling your lights and then keeping you in a weakened state, so you can't go anywhere else or do anything with your lights other than feed that source. And that was what was happening to me. So it's like sleeping with the enemy. Sleeping next to someone who doesn't trust you, you might as well be sleeping next to the enemy, because you're getting stabbed every fucking night while you sleep with daggers, spiritual daggers. And most people are unconscious of the fact that they are sending these daggers because people aren't in awareness. Please forgive them, for they do not know what they do not know, which is why boundaries are important. So you have to make sure that you're in a safe space. You can't just do the work in a toxic environment, because your environment will keep you cycling in a way that you are not raising your frequency high enough to move up and move out of the energy that you're in. So you get yourself stuck in a loop trying to get out, but it's not enough. So I ran from that space and ended up putting myself in other spaces that were just as unsafe as the space I went to. Under the false pretense of safety, I flew to a friend who, I confess, my wounded bird state that I'm in, and in a wounded bird sexually tries to take advantage of me. And after I tell him how uncomfortable I am, still continues to rub his dick up on me. Beware of wolves in sheep clothing. Just because someone's spiritual doesn't mean they follow their practices. And then I put my children in a space. I'm traveling with my sister, I'm traveling with my kids, with a friend who, as soon as we walk in the door, she admits to me that she's living in a condition where she's walking on eggshells and she's in an unsafe environment herself. But in my desperation, because I'm literally out of money and I'm running off of a mustard seed at this point, I take the invitation to stay, knowing that she's already told me that the person in her house, if this person is uncomfortable, the whole house is uncomfortable. And my thought at that moment is, Nobody should ever be uncomfortable if one person is uncomfortable. People need to learn how to regulate their emotions and not be a physical threat to other people just because they're uncomfortable in their own energy. But I didn't speak that. And I kept my mouth shut because I love my dear friend. I want to see her. But as she foreshadowed and spoke in the beginning, things escalated. You know, I have 2 babies. My 5-year-old son he's spectrum, and he loves toys and Legos and went straight for the toys. And then, you know, my child got screamed at, and she made my child cry. And he didn't understand what he did wrong because he was playing with toys that was given to him, and he did make a mess with his crackers, and he didn't feel like he was even doing anything wrong because he was living the way he lives at his father's house. I had just picked him up from his father's house, and he's just doing him. And her and I rectified our situation. You know, I apologized. I took accountability. She took accountability. We made our peace. But she herself is not living in a safe space. So knowing there wasn't a safe space, I should have taken a better judgment call and not put my children in an unsafe space that was already an unsafe space. So the reason I'm telling this story is because it's time for the chosen ones, the light workers, the star seeds, the earth angels, the shamans, the priestesses, the magicians, the alchemists. We've been doing our work for a really long time. Some of you are just coming into it. Some of you have been doing it your whole life. Some of you for a decade or so. And Mother Earth is shifting. And as the energies on the planet are ascending, it's felt. I can feel Mama Gaia. I can feel her shifting. And it's because of us. It's because of all of the work we've been doing to raise our vibrations, our own personal safe spaces, becoming that safe space, taking accountability for your actions. I take accountability for the danger I put my children in when I was in a domestic relationship because I didn't have the strength to leave, because I believed in the love that could be and the potential, because love is unconditional. And I see no right or wrong. I see either hurting or healing. And this person chose to stay hurting. And I take accountability for the fact that I stayed longer than I should. And now my children are detoxing from what they witnessed, from what they seen their mother go through, from the arguments that they heard. But as I remove myself from that environment, I'm faced with all of these other unsafe spaces. I finally made it. Off the faith of a mustard seed, I drove from Florida to Oklahoma to California, back to Oklahoma, to Washington State, to Denver, to Boston, to Florida, to Michigan. I had no idea how I pulled that off, but I did, and I owe a friend money, and I gave it to God because I am not returning to sex work for no one, because it does not benefit my soul, it does not benefit my purpose, it does not benefit my body. So I'm not doing it. So if it takes me, as long as it takes me to pay the money back, then it's going to take me as long as it takes me to pay the money back. But I'm not stressing, because the time is now, and I'm purging my impurities. I'm purifying my vessel. I am raising my vibration. I am grounding. I am becoming a safe space for myself and my environment. And in that act of becoming a safe space, I'm creating the environment around me. And I will only be in safe spaces. Which is why I'm not staying in my mother's house. It's not a safe space. The whole house is decaying. The environment is toxic. The energy is falling apart. They can fix it if they choose to. But there's more than one person who is an unsafe space, and there's one person who is carrying the weight of all of it, physically, emotionally, mentally, and it's killing her. And I'm not gonna sit by and watch it happen. I would rather live in my tent. I would rather live in my tent with Mother Earth grounding me as I sleep at night, with the stars blessing me, with the winds flowing through my body, flowing through my hair, washing away all that's not meant for me, all that does not serve me. And then sleep in an unsafe space where I'm under attack while I sleep, while I eat, while I pray, while I rest. It's time to step out of the battlefield. It's time to move up and move out. Create that safe space. Create that safe space in here, and create that safe space in here, and be that safe space. And New Earth is beautiful. Y'all, New Earth is beautiful. I keep getting these glimpses. I've been getting the glimpses for years, but the glimpses, they're like intensifying now. And New Earth is beautiful. New Earth is unconditional. It's community. It's collaborating. It's beautiful. So that's the message for today. And just remember, all things done in the dark will come to the light. And people who are dealing with shit that they don't need to be dealing with, good, honest people, you're gonna get tired of dealing with the shit that you don't need to be dealing with. And when you get tired enough of dealing with the shit, when you get tired of suffering, you'll make a change. And sometimes you just gotta suffer long enough to realize, I don't wanna suffer anymore. And it's that decision. You just make that decision to make that change. Start with one small step and do one thing different. And learn how to say no. Because this last leg of this journey, these last 2 years, I don't have a problem saying no anymore. And I got tested. I've gotten tested. And I failed. I failed a couple of times. But I know how to say no now. So, keep your boundaries strong. Practice your spiritual hygiene. Allow yourself rest. Allow yourself what your body needs, because your body will tell you. I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, whatever time space that this finds you at. And guys, let's get to New Earth. It's here. And it's in here. All we have to do is integrate it, harness it. You carry the light codes. I love you.